Hey guys, what is up? It is Dalton here.
And I'm Tyler.
And welcome to our next segment of our video game collection videos. And today we are going to be showing all of our N64 games, which includes the loose carts, box games, and just some extra bonus side games. So without further ado, let's get started with it. And again, I'm going to mention this in every clip, like every segment of the video game collection series. I'll show the first half and then Tyler will show the second half. Stuff like that, so it'll pretty much be the same linear way every single time. So if you guys have not checked out the previous ones, the NES games and the Super Nintendo games, we highly recommend you checking those out because they're just as exciting. So anyways, let's get started with the N64 games, guys. Alright guys, and again, a couple quick announcements before we get going here. For one, we have 100 loose N64 cartridges here. There's some of the good ones, and then again there's some common ones that typically happens, especially when there's only 296 games for the console. It's kind of easy to find the cheaper ones too. So but again, most of my games are nice shape. There might be a few in here that'll have rougher looking labels, but I do plan on upgrading those in the future. It's just whether or not I can find them or not. But no, I don't keep any of these games in any like hard cases or anything. And I do want to in the future get the custom end labels for each end, for each end of the games, so you can see them when they're stacked. Because every time you want to pull a game out, you got to pull each one out so you can find the right game. Kind of sucks that the Nintendo took the end labels away, because that was really convenient. But that's okay. You can probably just buy the end label stickers off of eBay for like 20 bucks. So anyways, without further ado, let's get started with the N64 games. Alright, so first stack here. I'm going to go ahead and get started. First one here, 007 GoldenEye. Very, very fun game. Pretty common, and it's very, very popular. It's been driving up in price recently, which is crazy, but people demand it because it's a really good game, so that's cool. The next one here is 007 The World Is Not Enough. Blue cart. Have yet to find the gray one. I'm pretty sure there's a gray one. But usually the gray cartridges of a colored cartridge is harder to find because it was first print. But hopefully I can come across that. Next one here is 1080 Snowboarding. Very nice shape. Very cool. Then we've got All-Star Baseball 2000. Then we've got Armorines Project Swarm. Black cartridge there, that's pretty cool. And we've got Army Men Sarge's Heroes. Automobili Lamborghini. Banjo Kazooie. Pretty cool game. And this one I just recently picked up. That's Banjo Tooie. Very, very cool. And then we got Bass Hunter 64. Alright, and I'll do it for that stack, and then we'll move on to the next one here. Alrighty, here we go. Next one here is Beetle Adventure Racing. Very cool. This one I just recently picked up as well, and that's Blast Corps. We've got Blues Brothers 2000. This one was our cousin's, which is cool. He let us have this one. It was pretty cool. That's California Speed. Really cool. I think it's basically just NASCAR racing, but still really cool. Next one here, Castlevania. Very nice. Now this next one is the most expensive game, not only for my N64 collection, but the entire game collection in general. And it's a really cool little story. I'll go ahead and tell it before I show it. I met this guy, me and Tyler met this guy when we went to a garage sale last summer, and he had listed in Craigslist that he had some video game stuff. So we ended up going up to his garage sale. He had a few things laying out, nothing too spectacular, it was just a bunch of common stuff, and we asked if he had anything else. And he said, "I'll be right back." And he came back about 5 minutes later, and he had this huge box filled with NES, Super Nintendo, 64, GameCube games, and accessories, stuff like that. Really, really cool. And he also, this was what he did for a living. He buys and sells games and stuff like that. He was a partial collector himself, but he mainly bought and sold. He still does this stuff, and his name is Jordan. We have mentioned him in our video game pickups videos many times, and I frequently buy from him and trade with him, stuff like that sometimes. Anyways, when I first met him, I thought he was a really cool guy, and he had this one game, but the weekend we met him, I could not afford it. It was just too much money for me at the time. So the next weekend, after that garage sale, I traded him 4 GameCubes and 4 Mario games. I believe there was a Mario Kart Double Dash, a Mario Party 4, a Luigi's Mansion, and a Mario Golf. And I traded all that plus $100 cash for this game. But in total, I ended up paying about $150 because I only had about $50 and all that GameCube stuff. So I paid about $150 for this game, and it's going for well over $400 now if you get a very mint cartridge. And that is Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut. Very, very uncommon title. This was a Blockbuster only release, and it was only a rental at the time. So to find this game, out in the wild is very obscure. I was really, really surprised to see that Jordan had this game. I was really excited. He was originally asking $100 for it, but then he had forgotten what the value was of it because he had it for so long. And then he looked it up, and of course, he was asking more for it when I went back to buy it from him, of course. But I still got it for a really, really good deal. And he's still upset every time I talk to him. He's like, "Hey, how's that Sculptor's Cut?" And I'm like, "It's doing great, it's sitting on my shelf, and it's, observing the whole game room." So I think he was pretty bummed that he sold it to me, but at the same time, he's at least happy that it went to someone he knows. So I definitely want to keep it in this plastic clear case because it keeps it from getting any more destroyed or anything. It did have one sticker on the front that I tried getting off. It was really hard to do that. I was very, very cautious with it. But other than that, it looks pretty good. It's got a couple of little nicks and holes in the label, but it's not that bad. This is one of the only carts I've ever seen without the actual whole Blockbuster, sticker that's plastered on the front and then all the way around on the back. This one did not have that. I was really surprised that it didn't. But anyways, very, very cool game. That was awesome to get that one. Next one, also another expensive game, and this one I bought from my local garage sale. I upgraded mine that I bought from my friend for $2.50, I mean, and he didn't care what it was worth. He just, because I was a friend, he was just like, whatever. It was $2.50 because I bought 2 games up from him for $5, so I averaged it at that. But anyways, I recently upgraded that, and I bought this one at a garage sale about a year ago, and it came with the manual, which was cool. But that is Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is a really nice copy now. The one I bought from my friend was all ripped up and stuff. You could hardly tell what the game was. But I definitely upgraded it now, and it looks really nice, so that's very cool. Alright, next one is Cruisin' World. Very fun arcade game, too. I played the arcade game a lot, and that one's a really cool one to play. Destruction Derby 64. And the last one for this stack here, Diddy Kong Racing. Pretty cool, fun little game. It's a lot like Mario Kart, just with, Rareware characters and stuff, so that's cool. Alright, next stack here. We've got Disney's Tarzan. Very cool. Disney Pixar's A Bug's Life. I love the movie. I've never really played the game, so I'm not sure how that goes, but same thing goes for this one. Disney Pixar's Toy Story 2. Also love the movie. I love a lot of the Pixar movies. They're great, but I've never really got a chance to actually sit down and play their games, so I'm wondering how they are. I mean, I've played like Toy Story on Super Nintendo and stuff, but I'm not sure how the games actually are for like 64 and whatnot, and PS1 and all that. I'll have to take a try at that sometime. Next one here is Donkey Kong 64. This one could use an upgrade because I don't know if it can pick up on camera too well, but the whole label is like water damaged, and I once opened this one up and it had a lot of it looked like puke, and it was really bad. It was really nasty to clean. But I'll definitely upgrade this one. It's clean now, but it's just the memory is disturbing, so that's why I want to upgrade it. Plus the label is kind of like peeling and cracking a little bit, it looks like, so I'm going to upgrade it. This one I just recently picked up as well, and that is EA Madden 2000. Then we got EA Sports Madden 2001. I got this one from my friend Cameron, I believe, and he just gave it to me because he's like, I don't play that no more. There's no reason for me to have it. It was like the only 64 game he had left. He's like, here, just take it. So I was like, okay, cool. Then we've got EA Sports Madden 2002. Then we've got EA Sports Supercross 2000. Then we've got Excite Bike 64. Then we've got F1 World Grand Prix. Alright, and that is it for that stack. next stack here. Recently picked this one up as well, and that's F-Zero X. We've got F1 Pole Position 64. Forsaken 64. Gex 64, Enter the Gecko. Glover. GT 64. Hey You Pikachu, which could definitely use an upgrade. It's got some fading to it, but it's still there for the most part, but that can be upgraded. Jet Force Gemini. This one was fun to find. I found this one at our local ARC for $3, I believe. They hardly ever get 64 games anymore. This was about 2 years ago, I'd say. But that is Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. Really cool to find games like that at your thrift store. And the last one for the stack is Kobe Bryant in NBA Courtside. Alright, so there's that stack. And I've got one more stack, and then it'll be Tyler's turn to show some games. Alright, Lego Racers. I remember our cousins used to have this back when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Tyler wasn't around yet, but we used to play this one and some other ones, and I'll get to that later. But anyways, there's that one. Then we've got Madden Football 64. And we got Madden NFL 99. Mario Golf. That's a pretty fun one. I like the golf games. I'm not sure why, but like Hot Shots Golf and stuff on PlayStation and all that, those are really fun games. So definitely pick those up if you like golf games. Those are really fun to play. Next one here is Mario Kart 64. That's another one I was talking about with the cousins. That one I remember a lot too. That's cool. We've got Mario Party 1. Very nice. Very fun games. I love Mario Parties. I remember before I never used to be a Mario Party person, and then Tyler showed me how fun they can be when he showed me some videos on YouTube and stuff, and this was before I started collecting and everything really, and then when I started noticing them, I was like, wow, those look really fun. I really want to play those. So I was glad we started finding them as we started getting games and stuff, so that was really cool. Alright, next one here is Mario Party 2, and again it came from the same thrift store that we have, ARC thrift store, and what was funny about this one is there was like 3 N64 games laying in their electronics section. All of them were facing up except for this one, but the ones that were facing up were sports titles, so I was like figuring, when I saw this one I was like, oh, that's probably another sports title. There was $1.99 on this. I flipped it over and almost freaked out. This was probably one of the most exciting moments in my video game finding history. I flipped it over and it was Mario Party 2. I could not believe it. I was so excited, and that was a really cool find. I'll never forget that because this was such a good game to find, especially how much of a more surprise it was when I flipped it over. But for $2, I was not going to complain at all. That's, that was back when it was like around, 25, 30 bucks. Now it's reaching like 45 or 50 or whatever. So it's, getting up there in price, which is crazy. It's more for the demand and popularity than anything. It's not really rare. It's just really popular, but really fun game at that. So that's cool. Then of course we have Mario Party 3. Also a really fun one. My favorite one on 64 would probably have to be probably 3, just because of the different games that they have for it and stuff. So, but don't get me wrong, I do love them all, but they all have their fair share of different games and stuff. The next one here is Mario Tennis. Very cool. That one could use, it's not that bad. It's got a little bit of fading, but if I can't upgrade it, oh well. But if I could upgrade it, that'd be awesome too. But it's not that bad. And then the last one here that I'm showing, and in my stack, is Mega Man 64. And I love how that one's called Mega Man Legends on PS1, but since it was on 64, they had to change it to 64 because most game titles have 64 in their titles. So, but anyways, there is the last stack for me, and now it'll go ahead and be Tyler's turn. Alright guys, now it is going to be Tyler's turn to show the other half of the N64 loose carts. And like before, if you guys saw the NES and SNES games, I'll keep the games on my side just for convenience sake, just so I can pick them up, and then I'm going to hand him one at a time and he'll show them, and then he'll hand them back to me. So anyways, here we go, let's get started.
Mickey Speedway, USA.
Very fun. It's a lot like Mario Kart and stuff, just with Mickey, Disney characters and stuff.
Mission Impossible.
That one could use an upgrade, but for now at least I have it.
MRC. Miss Pac-Man. NASCAR 99. In the Zone 98.
NBA.
What is it?
You just said in the zone, but it's NBA in the zone.
Oh, okay.
I'm just referencing it so they know.
NBA Jam 2000. NBA Live 99. NFL Blitz. NFL Quarterback Club 98.
Alright, and that's it for that stack. So we'll go ahead and move that out of the way and then grab the next one. Alright.
NFL Quarterback Club 2000. NFL Quarterback Club 2001. NHL 99. NHL Breakaway 98. Nickelodeon's The Rugrats in Paris, the movie.
I used to love watching the Rugrats all the time when I was a kid. I still love watching it. I know I'm kind of weird, but I love watching what I grew up with, like Hey Arnold, Ned, Ed, and Eddie, and all those kind of shows. So too bad they don't run them anymore. You have to kind of find them on YouTube or whatever to find some episodes. But anyway.
Olympic Hockey 98.
This next one's a good one.
Paper Mario.
Very fun game. It's a lot like, it's the starter pack, the starting thing for, Paper Mario and stuff, and then they took it onto GameCube and then Wii and stuff. I've never really actually sat down and fully played Paper Mario, but it's definitely one of those games that, it's got its own, kind of style to it, which is really, really cool.
Just recently picked this one up, and that's Penny Racers.
Very cool.
Perfect Dark.
And the last one for the stack.
Pokemon Snap.
That one could use an upgrade. It's got some cigarette staining or yellow staining to it, so I mean it's good for now, but it'll eventually get an upgrade. So, anyways, there's that stack. All right, we'll move on to the next one.
Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon Stadium 2. RR64 or Ridge Racer 64. Cartoon Network's Scooby-Doo Classic Creep Capers.
That's the gray cart, the harder to find version. It's usually a black cartridge, but I found the harder to find cartridge earlier than the black one, so that's cool.
Snowboard Kids.
I ended up getting that down at the outdoor flea market at a reseller's booth. They thought it was just a regular sports title. They had $5 on it, and actually it's a really cool Atlas title. So most Atlas titles are pretty obscure, so there's only a couple I've come across that aren't worth anything, but most of them are pretty hard to find and pricey.
South Park. Star Fox 64. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
And the last one for this stack.
Star Wars Shadows of the Empire.
Just picked that one up not too long ago too. Well, I had it, I was ready to put it on the shelf, and then I upgraded it. So I've gotten this game twice since the last time I put stuff on the shelf and everything. So, alright, so there's that stack. We'll grab the next one here. Start off with a good one on this stack.
That's Super Mario 64.
Very cool.
Super Smash Bros.
Very nice crispy card on that one. The label's really nice. I love that.
Tetrasphere. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
I've yet to find the gold card though. That'd be really cool to find.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. And it has
a bunch of rental stickers all over it.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get upgraded one day, but if it doesn't happen right away, it won't be that big a deal. I mean, I had this cartridge for 2 years, so I'll upgrade eventually.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Triple Play 2000. Track 2, Seeds of Evil.
And the last one for this stack
is Wildlife Country Club.
Very cool. Alright, so there's that stack, and then we've got one more stack of loose cartridges for 64.
Wave Race 64. Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey 98. Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey 1, I guess you could
Yeah,
say.
just the basic starter one for that.
Wheel of Fortune. WWF WrestleMania 2000. WCW Revenge.
Versus NWO, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And another one.
WCW versus NWO World Tour.
Very cool.
WWF Attitude. WWF Warzone.
And then the last loose cart.
Is Yoshi's Story.
Alright, so very, very cool. Alright, so that'll do it for the loose N64 games. Next, I will go ahead and show all of the boxed N64 games and then the side N64 games that have some stories to them. So we'll go ahead and get to that next. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead now and get into the special loose carts that we have and the boxed games for N64. So the first ones we're going to show here are these loose cartridges I have, but there is a reason that I have these, and I'll go ahead and explain them as I show them. I'll go ahead and show these first two because they accommodate each other. But we got here Mario Kart 64 and a Super Mario 64, and I have these in clear cases, just one for to protect them, and two because they're a little more special. I have these because these were our cousin's original copies of these games from back when we were growing up. And this is as close to childhood games that I will ever get, just because I remember going up to their house and playing these games with them on their 64 when I was like 4 years old or so. Tyler wasn't born yet, so he doesn't really, have any relevance to these games in particular. But I mean, over the years when we were growing up, we still played games with him and stuff. But N64, that was, back towards when I was, like 3 or 4 years old. So these are really special to me, more particularly just because these are the actual cartridges I played when I was like 4 years old. So it's really cool because that's just about the same time I had my Super Nintendo, and I wish I still had that stuff, but anyways, this is as close as I'll get to that, so that's why I have these. So that's very cool that I got these. My cousin, our cousin, was going to sell off a lot of his old game stuff. He didn't want it anymore, so he asked me if I could help him sell his stuff on eBay because he knew I did that as a part-time job and stuff. And so he asked me if I would sell some of his stuff, and I said, sure, no problem. And I came across those two in particular. I remember those the most, and I said, hey, do you by chance mind if I keep these for my collection? He's like, no, that's fine. I took these more than the pay that I wanted, because he said he would pay me some money if I sold them for him, but I said, you know what, I'll take a little bit of the money, but if you want, would you be willing to let me have these games as well? And he's like, that's perfectly fine. So I was really happy to get those and put those in the collection because they're more of a nostalgic thing than anything, so that's really, really cool. So there's those. And then this other loose cart that I have doesn't have any nostalgic value to it, but it's still one of those things. And that is WWF Attitude. It's a pretty rough cartridge, but the reason I have this is because my buddy Anthony found it in his stuff when they moved, and he also found his original N64, and he didn't have the cords for it or anything anymore. He found his controller for it, which is cool. But he's like, hey pal, do you want my old N64? We don't play it anymore. And I was like, sure. So he gave me the 64 and the controller, and then he had this one game. So I have this just because it's his, and it's it's something he gave me. So I wasn't gonna just sell it. That's kind of rude to do with when you get something from a friend like that. Even though you can do with what you please when you get it. I still felt that would have been kind of weird to just get rid of something that was his, and he gave it to me for free and everything. So, but anyways, that's why I have another loose cart of WWF Attitude, but it's a friend's cartridge, so that's a little more special. So there's all the loose carts. Now we'll go ahead and get into the box games. Most of these games were all originally they were purchased as just boxes only with the manuals inside. So most of these I had to end up complete myself. Just because I didn't want to just have the boxes, I wanted to get some, cartridges for them too, because that would be a little bit better, a little more cooler to have on the shelf. So most of these N64 games in the box, you will see these were originally just the boxes, and I had to complete them myself to make them 100%. But anyways, I'll go ahead and get into it. But real quick, actually, most of these boxes, when I got them, empty boxes manuals, they were $5 each from a Craigslist deal. But the games cost me a little bit more than that just to complete them. But since the boxes are so cheap, I paid a little more for the cartridges to complete them, because usually box games are a little more valuable anyway. So, anyways, you'll get to see what I got here. So, first one here is 007 GoldenEye. Very, very nice shape. It is 100% complete. Again, like the Super Nintendo games, I really don't want to take them all apart and, you know, show all the stuff, because it is a bit of a pain in the butt. I guess I could show this one, and you'll get the idea of what they all look like. But as you can see, it has the paperwork and stuff right here. There's the cartridge and everything. It's all in there. So that's, you know, how most of the games look. But this is a player's choice box. But I'm not too worried about it, because I actually found a matching player's choice cartridge that I put in here. If anything, if it's going to be player's choice, I'd like it to at least match. Before, I just had a regular cartridge in there, and so over time I had to upgrade that and, you know, put an actual player's choice one in there when I, you know, came across it. So I did that. So that's cool. So now that's 100% complete. So that's very cool. I probably ended up paying like $10 in total to complete that one, which is really, really good. Next one here, Banjo Tooie. Very, very cool. This one was actually given to me and Tyler. This came, if you saw the Super Nintendo lot, video game collection that you know, the video before this, we talked about all the box games that we got from a, you know, friend that our grandfather knows, and his name was Bud, and he had a lot of games that him and his daughter used to play back in the day. And anyway, this is one of those games. It came along with the 64 that we got from him. And so this was really cool for him to just, you know, like all the games that we got from him, just, you know, give them to us, which was really cool. But this was one of them. This was the only complete game for the N64 that he gave us, but really, really cool. It's a really good game, and it's in really nice shape, so that was really cool to get that one. So there's Banjo Tooie. Alright, next one here, Diddy Kong Racing. Again, very nice shape. Most of these game boxes are very nice. There's a couple that are kind of crushed and got some bad ends, but most of them are in pretty decent shape. And the cartridges look really nice. I made sure to put really nice cartridges in here if I could, you know. And but this one's 100% complete as well. The box was $5, like most of them, and the cartridge probably was, I think I paid $10 for the cartridge, so I think I have 15 in total to complete this one. So not bad. Alright, the next one here is Donkey Kong 64, and I did find a expansion pack to put in here with it, because it's supposed to come with one. So I found an extra expansion pack over the, you know, course of collecting, and I stuck it in here with the game, because that's, you know, it's supposed to have that to complete it. Again, the box was $5, but the cartridge probably ran me 15, I believe, and the expansion pack was like $5, something like that. So I have like $25 in this one, but this one, you know, that's, you know, at least half for what it goes for. So, but that was really cool to complete this one. That's really cool. So there's Donkey Kong 64. Next one here, again another $5 box, and I think this one cost me $20, I think, to complete. I think I paid 15 for the cartridge on this one, but that is Mario Kart 64. Another player's choice, but I found a matching cartridge to go in there over the course of collecting, so that was cool. So very cool game to have complete in the box, which I love. I love the Mario games and the, you know, Zeldas and, you know, more popular titles to have in the box. It's, you know, really cool to see, you know, presented and everything. So anyways, there's Mario Kart 64. Very good shape. This one was really cool to complete as well. It took me a while to complete this one because I had to find all the components to it. But it's a bigger box, and it needed it for, you know, one of the components, and I'll get to that. And that is Pokemon Stadium. Really, really cool. The reason it's a bigger box is because it was supposed to come with a transfer pack, and I did end up finally finding one of those and putting that in here with it. And the cartridge I have in here is in really nice shape. I can probably just open this end real quick, and you can see there's the cartridge right there. This one had all the original baggies with it, which was really, really cool. It's the only one that had that, but still, it was really cool. It came from that same Craigslist lot. This box was $5. But I probably had 10 in the cartridge and 5 in the transfer pack, so $20 to complete this one's not bad at all. That was really cool to complete this one. It's a bigger box, and it looks really cool and presentable on the shelf, so that's really cool. So there's that one. And then this one I picked up the first time we went to Mile High Flea Market, and this is our, you know, if you haven't seen our last videos, it's down in Denver. It's our outdoor huge flea market that we like to go to. And the first time I actually went down there was about 3 years ago, I think, or 4. Maybe it was 4 years ago. We went down as a whole family, and we don't do that anymore because you know, I can drive on my own now. But back then we had to rely on our parents to take us down. But anyway, this was the first time we went down there, and this one guy had a, you know, it was like a reseller's booth and everything, but I guess he didn't really realize what this one was. But this was only $10, which is incredible. I don't care what game it is, you know, what console it's for. If you get one like this for $10, it's incredible. And that is a factory sealed copy of Roadsters. Really, really cool. I was really happy to see a factory sealed game, and I'm still glad to have it, because it's, you know, it's been sitting on the shelves and stuff, but it's, you know, I've tried to keep it as nice as I possibly could so it would not, you know, get destroyed over the time. And you know, there's no rips or anything in the plastic, which, you know, from being down at the flea market and everything, you know, that tends to happen to a lot of stuff, but I'm really happy this one survived. It's got a little bit of crushing, like, it's not like crushing, but it like sunk in on itself over from age and everything, but other than that, the box is really, really nice. So for a factory sealed N64 game for $10, I could not complain. That was really cool. So there's that one. This is probably one of my favorite ones to have complete in the box, mainly because the artwork looks really, really cool on it, and plus it's a more high dollar game, it's more popular. So that's really cool. Again, this was a $5 box. I think I probably put $20 into the cartridge, so I have about $25, I'd say, into this complete in box copy of Super Smash Brothers. And that is really, really nice shape. It's got, you know, a little bit of crushing on the front, but it's not bad. The ends are a little torn in some spots, but it's not too bad. I really, really enjoyed this box in particular, just because of how it's, you know, laid out and everything. It looks a lot like the cartridge label, but when you see it blown up and actually on the actual box and everything, like it was supposed to be back in the day, you know, when you bought it off the store shelf, I just think it's really cool. I really love the layout for it and everything, so very cool to have that one. And then this one, I remember I specifically bought off of Craigslist. This one cost me a little bit, but it was worth it to get it, because the cartridge goes for this almost alone for what I paid for this. So I thought for a boxed one, that was a really good deal. This guy had this on Craigslist. It was a complete in box, you know, copy. It was already 100% complete, so I didn't have to worry about it. But I was glad to get it, and that is The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. The box isn't the greatest. As you can see, it doesn't hold together too well anymore, but it's still 100% there. It has all the paperwork. It has the cartridge, which is in really nice shape. It's the hologram cartridge. To find the non-hologram is really hard to find. That's, you know, first edition. But this was $60, which, you know, that's a lot to put towards one game, but at the same time, you don't see it boxed all the time, and that's pretty much what the cartridge goes for alone, if you're, you know, seeing how good a condition the cartridge actually is. I think average the game actually goes for about $45-50, but if you know, some people can get $60 for the cartridge. But anyway, $60 for a complete in box one I thought was a really good deal. So I thought that was a really cool thing to find on Craigslist. So there's that one. Alright, the next one here is in very good shape as well. It was another $5 box. It took me a long time to complete this one just because I could not find the cartridge anywhere. It was actually really surprising because how popular the game is. It was just, I couldn't afford it because I didn't want to pay full retail just to complete the game. That would have been ridiculous. But I finally came across a copy of it for, you know, a pretty good deal. And I think I probably have about $20, I'd say, total in this, you know, complete box copy. And that is The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Also very nice shape. There's no real crushing to it. It's got a couple of, you know, edged corner wear here and there, but it's not that bad. Very, very cool. So I have both Zelda games on N64 complete in box, which I love. That's really, really cool. I just love the artwork. I like how it's like embossed or whatever they call it. You can run your hands across and you can feel the Zelda and everything. It's really, really cool. I love the artwork style and everything for that. It's just, I know it's kind of, you know, it's just simple here, but I mean, just to see it, you know, on the box and just to have the original box is just really, really cool. So there's that one. And then the last one here, this one came with the stack of $5 boxes from Craigslist. But this one was actually complete out of all those empty boxes, and it was $5 as well, which was really cool. For a complete box game for $5, I was not, you know, disappointed at all. I thought it was really cool, and that is Top Gear Rally 2. This is probably the worst looking N64 box I've got, but it's all there still. The game is complete. Just, you know, the flaps are coming loose, and it's got some crushing and stuff, but it's really not that bad. But I thought for a complete game for $5, that was a really cool deal. So I was definitely happy to pick that one up. So that's going to conclude all of the special loose cards and all the boxed games for the Nintendo 64 in our collection. Alright guys, that is going to conclude the N64 game collection that we have. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, telling your friends. It really helps us out. If you have not already, check out the previous videos to this, the NES game collection that we have, our Super Nintendo game collection that we have, and the next one will be all of our handhelds, so stay tuned for that. We'll have the original Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, PSP, DS, 3DS, that kind of stuff. So that'll be the next video, and that'll be all of the games that we have for those consoles in the next video. So stay tuned for that. So anyways, happy gaming as always, guys, and we'll see you next time. See you later, guys. Bye, guys.